Hello everybody! I am so excited to be sitting down and talking to you once again. I did Vlogmas and there was lots of vlogging going on, which I love to do because they're like fun family videos, but I really want to get back in touch with you and to start growing this community again, because that was my favorite part of our pregnancy updates, was just talking with you in the comments and knowing like, is this normal? Have you experienced this before? That kind of thing. So welcome to you if you are new, and welcome back. For those of you that are new, my name is Adrienne and I have two kids, one 2.5-year-old, his name is Weston, and a 3, almost 4-month-old, his name is Tucker. I wanted to start this series and it's just called Let's Talk Tuesdays. And I want it to be anything parenthood, mommyhood related. All of the things. Today specifically, we are talking postpartum anxiety, and other weeks, I mean, we are gonna be talking about like picky eaters. We can talk about recovery after pregnancy. We can talk breastfeeding. We can talk about intimacy with your partner. Like, we'll go there. We'll do all of the things. I want to know what you would like to hear on these Let's Talk Tuesdays. Leave it in the comments down below. And today we are going to get into the nitty-gritty of postpartum anxiety. I know that a lot of people say like, oh, this is the thing that people aren't talking about. And I think people have started to talk about postpartum anxiety. It is something that is on our radar. Postpartum depression, of course, gets noticed a bit more. And, you know, I guess there's reason for that. With postpartum anxiety, I don't want to talk general things here. I want to really get into the details of what I would consider my postpartum anxiety, and I'm going to compare them between my firstborn and my second. And I'm going to tell you the details of all of the things that are going on in this brain. So much of it is worry, right? And I think that's just normal for any new parent. Like, we worry about, are they breathing at night? You know, I remember with Weston when he was born, I literally, for the first 2 nights of his life, slept with my hand on top of his belly so that I could feel it rise and fall and rise and fall. Because I was so worried that he was not gonna breathe, that he was gonna stop breathing. And was that postpartum anxiety? Was that just worry? This is what the experts are saying. So anybody can do a quick Google search, and in my Google search of postpartum anxiety, I was drawn to Parents Magazine. And one of the articles that they wrote on about postpartum anxiety, they talk about the difference between worry and postpartum anxiety. So if your worries are irrational, and it says, say you have an intense fear that your baby will get hurt if you don't hold him, but you can't get them out of your brain, and that suggests you may be sort of tipping the scale into anxiety, right? We've all felt anxiety, I'm sure, at one point or another in our lives. Like, before getting pregnant, before even thinking about having babies, I would get so anxious while traveling, specifically while flying. And for me, my anxiety was, are we gonna get there on time? Are we gonna miss our flight? Oh my gosh, we're like, I packed too much of my bags, they're too heavy, what are we gonna do? We need to leave earlier. And it would just go on and on and on and on. As soon as we got through the security gate, I was fine. So all of my anxiety, and you know, you feel it like in your chest, in your stomach, like, and it's not a good feeling. So that was really where I felt anxiety in my life before babies. Let's get into Weston's. So right after I had Weston, a little backstory here. At the hospital where Weston and Tucker were both born, they require all new parents to go to a car seat safety course. That's excellent. And it's really important that all new parents understand car seat safety. One parent only needs to go to this class after you've given birth, and you aren't discharged until one of the parents goes to this course. Well, I thought, let's both go. It will be great. We'll get out of this room. It will be great. This is right after Weston's born, right before we were discharged from the hospital. I've got my notes here on my phone. This hospital course spawned so much anxiety in me. The woman teaching the course gave multiple examples of how your child could die in the car seat if they weren't buckled in properly. She gave multiple examples of how your child might die if there are other objects in your car. So as a new mom, just going through this huge hormonal shift, it spawned so much anxiety. The other tough part was that we had a car seat that she was not familiar with. We have a Peg Perigo, which I love. I love that car seat. However, it is an Italian car seat and she just didn't have that much experience with that specific car seat. And so when we put our very teeny tiny baby, he dropped down to 6 pounds as we were leaving the hospital, into this car seat. We put this teeny tiny baby into this car seat and the clips aren't going where they're supposed to. The pads cannot be there. The pads must be removed. She says, take those off. And he looks like he's so fragile and there's no way he's going to make it back to the house. This is where all of my postpartum anxiety went to. And anyone that was around me would have been able to notice straight away that I had irrational thoughts about the car seat, about him being in the car seat, and I'm gonna get into the specifics of what those were. He didn't like to be in the car seat. I don't think new babies do. It's uncomfortable. They've been in this warm, like cozy, squishy place, and all of a sudden they're in something that has a clip here and a clip down here, and like they can't move really. So of course they're uncomfortable. Weston would cry and cry and cry. And if I was driving the car by myself and he's crying, and then all of a sudden he stops, literally in my mind, I thought, oh my gosh, my baby stopped breathing. I have to pull the car over and I have to check on him right away. And I would do that. I would not pull over on the road because that didn't seem safe to me. So I would get to like a parking lot or somebody's driveway and I would pull off on the side of the road to find a very peaceful, happy, sleeping baby. And this happened multiple times, so many times, especially in that like 0 to 8 week mark, especially then. There were several times where I remember thinking, I would go out of the house, and Matt was working from our home at the time, and I would leave the house with Weston. This is again in that 0 to 8 week mark. I would leave the house with him and he would cry, like on our way home. He'd be crying, like, oh, he didn't want to be in the car seat. And I remember thinking, as soon as he stopped crying, I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna show up at my house with a dead baby. He's not alive. Like, he must have died because he stopped crying. And so that, I think, is irrational. And now looking back on it, of course, I can say that. But when you're in it, when you are in that kind of newborn haze, and when you have anxiety like that, it is so real. It's like, it's the realest thing. And it's just hard to look at it from other points of view. As Weston got a little bit bigger and we were more comfortable with the car seat, my anxiety started to go down a little bit. It definitely dwindled and it went away, and you know, things were sort of normal. I think your body sort of goes through these hormonal changes, right? And I relaxed about it and just sort of had to be okay, because how are you going to go anywhere if he can't, you know, if you can't handle him being in the car seat? So that was what happened with Wes. With Tucker, he was a little bit bigger, but only by a little bit. But because we were good with the car seat, we were using the same Peg Perigo. As I felt comfortable with that car seat and I understood how the car seat functions and how the baby safely can be put in the car seat, I didn't have anxiety about it. It was amazing. So like that first time he goes in, the car seat and he gets clicked into the car and we're on our way home, and I was like, I might be in the clear. I feel really good about this. We're gonna be just fine. Maybe this anxiety thing's not gonna happen this second time around. I did have a bit of anxiety during my pregnancy with Tucker, and I was concerned that that was gonna like flare up big time postpartum, and it did. And if you watched any of my pregnancy updates, I'm not exactly sure which one it is that I talk about it, but my anxiety during pregnancy was that we would get into a car accident, and I would worry about this constantly. And I never worry about it when I'm driving. It's always if someone else is driving. And not usually Matt either. It's usually if someone else is driving. If I am in the car with someone other than my husband or myself driving, it just like boom. And during my pregnancy, it would flare up pretty bad. I have really specific examples. So, and it's not just if Tucker is in the car either. It's if Weston or Tucker, like all of those weird red flags, and like you start to kind of get that creepy, like, oh, I just, no, they can't be in the car with anyone else driving. It was really bad from like, I would say 0 to 8 weeks again. I felt like no one else could have them in the car. It was so bad at the beginning that my mother-in-law is very sweet, and she takes Weston from time to time, and instead of her coming to pick him up, I would drive him and I would drop him off at their house, because it's like we live 3 miles from one another. So this is where it's irrational, right? That like my mother-in-law is a very safe driver. She would never ever want anything to happen to any of us, ever. She's a wonderful person. So it's irrational to think that like that she would get into a car accident. I mean, it could happen to anybody. And I think that's where my brain was like overthinking it, overanalyzing it. I would drop Weston off, I would pick him up, or I would have Matt pick him up. And that's kind of like, it's a little bit ridiculous because she would offer to come and get him. And I was like, no, I have errands to run, I'll drop him. So that was a little bit, that was definitely my anxiety popping in. This was when I have 2 very specific examples of when I felt like I was crawling out of my skin with anxiety. And one was right away. I want to say it was within the first couple of weeks that Tucker was born. And my in-laws had Weston for some reason, but we were leaving the same place. We left the same place and we were coming back to our house. And they were taking a little bit longer, and I was like, where are they? Where are they? What's happened? And before Weston even got into the car with them, I had this red flag pop up, and I was like, they're gonna get into a car accident and something really bad is gonna happen. And I really thought that something really bad was gonna happen. And then when they weren't here, when they said they were gonna be here, it was like, the minutes felt like hours, you know, like, where are they? I can't believe they're not here yet. What's going on? And again, this is like, I know my in-laws watch these videos, so it's like, it was all postpartum anxiety, and it was all hormonal, and but I could not take it and put it under control. Like any other time, it's fine. Weston goes in the car with them all the time. But those first couple of weeks, it was just like, my anxiety was off the charts. I couldn't handle it. Second time where I felt like I was crawling out of my skin, we were on our way to a friend's holiday party, and Matt was driving, and it wasn't even like I thought we were gonna get into an accident. He went a different way than I would have gone to get to the highway, and I lost it. I absolutely lost it. I almost opened the door to get out of the car while it was going, because I like couldn't be there and have the conversation. I was yelling. I was like, I can't believe you went this way. This is not the way that we go. This is like taking us 10-15 minutes out of the way. When I looked at it on Google Maps, it's 1 minute longer. His way is 1 minute longer than my way. So it really is not, like, that's not that big of a deal. And I'm looking at it in the car, and I'm still like, I've got to get out of this car. I can't believe I'm still in this car with you. I was so angry. I was so mad. And my anxiety, I could just feel myself boiling over. And he didn't know how to handle that, and I feel so bad that we even were in that situation. He was kind of like, whoa, Adrienne, it's not that big of a deal. And I was like, we're already late, I can't believe this. And he's like, let's calm down, let's just like relax about this. And he did turn the car around for me, but now looking back, like all of the turning around and going back the other way, my way, it probably would have been faster then to just go his way. So all of these things, but like when you're in it, you're in this postpartumness haze, it is so real and there's no other way. It's so hard to describe. And so that's why I really wanted to share with you like very specific examples of what my anxiety looks like. And I want to know if any of you have ever felt that way, if you have similar stories, or where does your postpartum anxiety lie? Like, or what do you worry about the most? And this is where this community is so amazing, and I love you guys so much. Like, write it in the comments below, write paragraphs, tell us your story, because I love looking back at some of the videos and you guys are interacting with each other like months after the video has been posted, and I love that. I really think that we all need to be here for one another, especially when we're going through these things. I can easily look back and say that those were like anxiety-ridden moments, but I'm okay. I think that my hormones are sort of regulating a little bit, and I think that things are getting easier. I know for myself that just the time and just talking about it with other people has helped me to kind of get through those moments. I don't worry about the kids being in the car anymore with other people, because I've talked about it with my husband, and because, you know, it's important for us to voice what's going on inside. Otherwise, I think that it builds and builds and builds and builds and gets to a point where it might be unmanageable or might linger longer than you wanted it to. A lot of the things I was reading said that postpartum anxiety can be a full year, it can be forever. And that's why it's so important to talk to someone, whether it is a professional, if you think that that is something that you need. I did at the beginning, I thought, you know, maybe this is really serious. Maybe I need to talk to somebody about this. But I have been able to calm down about it, and things are a lot better now. But I can safely say that now things are better. One thing that we have coming up that I'm like super excited about, but also a little bit nervous, because this is where my anxiety is even before pregnancy. We are flying to St. Thomas, and we are headed there very soon. I cannot wait. We're gonna be there for a really long time. We're going with my in-laws. It's gonna be the best trip. Getting to the airport is where my anxiety is, and so I'm just gonna be a bit nervous. I'm sure of it. Even thinking about it right now, I'm like, okay, just make sure the bags are packed the night before. You know, we leave really early in the morning, and it's just getting to the airport. Once we are there and we are through that security gate, I will be fine. We flew quite a bit with Weston when he was little because we lived in St. Thomas, and so when we were flying back to Michigan to visit with family, we came a lot during the first year of his life. So we know what it's like to fly with one baby. We don't know what it's like to fly with a baby and a toddler. We flew with Weston. The last time we flew was our Iowa Okoboji trip, and I did vlog about it. I'll link it down below. But that was with Weston when he was a toddler, and so as every month of his life as he gets older, it is more difficult to fly with him just because he's so much more mobile. And of course, like, he wants to run, he wants to go, he doesn't want to sit in a chair by himself. It's gonna be interesting. We are gonna have the help of my mother-in-law for that flight down there, and then my mother-in-law and father-in-law are gonna help us on the way back, so because we're all just going together. So it's gonna be so much fun, and I'm really excited about it. So I hit 5,000 subscribers just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like super pumped about that. I can't believe that this channel started out as just like, it was my secret side channel, you guys. I started this as for a place to take live pregnancy tests because I thought that anyone on our vlog channel was gonna be weirded out about it. And then I realized how many other people love to watch those videos too, because that's what I love to watch, especially when we're trying to have a baby. I love binging on other people's pregnancy tests. So that's how this channel started, and it's just grown, and you guys are amazing. Thank you so, so, so much. And because I want to thank you, I don't make a lot of money off of this. Hardly any, really. But I do want to give away a Starbucks gift card for hitting 5,000 subscribers. So if you would like to be entered into that 5,000 subscriber giveaway, all you have to do is leave a comment down below and I will send you that gift card in the mail. It will be probably like a $25 gift card. I think that would be really nice and would give someone some coffee maybe throughout a month or something. I don't know. Treat yourself, you know what I mean? So that is going to be our giveaway. I'm like really excited about it, and all you have to do is comment down below, but you do have to be subscribed. So make sure you hit that subscription bar, make sure you hit the bell notifications, do all of the things so that you know when we upload a video. I'm really excited about this series. It's just Let's Talk Tuesdays, and each Tuesday we are going to talk about something new, something probably mommy parenthood related. Today was postpartum anxiety, and I hope that it helped you, and please help me by letting me know that I'm not alone. Comment down below. I want to hear your story. Thank you so much for watching, and I love you, and I'll see you next Tuesday.
Let me sing for you, like the birds in the mountains do, like a child who cries for you, cries for you. So let me sing for you, about the streets and the avenues.